Okay, so I thought I'd make a bit of a video rating basically how accurate some ideas are on the internet about traditional Catholics. So basically, lifestyle and clothing among adherents. This is not just supposedly how priests behave and dress and act, but also how we do. The side of St. Pius X, a complementary position with respect to gender roles is upheld. St. Mary's few married women work, especially once they have children. I'll say this, to a certain extent it's true, but look, most of us, it's fair. It is still considered an ideal. That's absolutely true. Um, Both among younger and older generations, husband goes out to work, wife stays home, looks after the kids. That is considered the ideal. That being said, 100%, I know a lot of women who absolutely do work. Um, that most of them want to stay home. That's honestly what they choose. There are actually some women I met among SSPXers who have chosen like careers. Um, it's nothing crazy, nothing career. So it really varies. Again, that's in St. Mary's. Yeah, St. Mary's, Kansas. Um, in Midwestern United States, basically, it does not represent the culture everywhere. Though this would be considered normative. Husband going out to work, wife staying home looking after the kids. Richard Williamson, a former bishop of the SSPX, he kind of went off the rocker, though he did have some good points about the SSPX not reconciling with Rome, who now aligns with the SSPX resistance, wrote a pastoral letter when she stated that women's trousers as worn today, short or long, modest or immodest, tight or loose, open or disguised, like the culottes, are an assault upon women's womanhood, and so they represent a deep lying revolt against the order of God. Ah, okay. I'll say this. Now, there is discussion about this among traditional Catholic faithful, and like I said, I can only talk about how people dress in my own experience. Now, when women go to church, it's Sunday best. They're dressed skirt and dress. I think I maybe seen like women wear pants to church once, maybe, and they're always cover their heads and veil and everything. When they are outside of the church context, and I've been at people's houses, I've seen how they dress. They just they dress like pretty much like anyone else would, who is like modestly dressed, basically. Um, where I live, like it's not like the total. I'm sure there are some women who want to go that way, and there are. I've heard some women think people say that they think they're Mennonite and they're traditional Catholic. And that is the thing. What I understand in some places, and you do hear online about women. Yes, women who advocate for it. Where I live, most women, when they're outside the church context, they dress like a modestly normative, a normative, modestly dressed woman. Yes, even like women's pants and everything. I've seen it. I've also seen women who won't, and insist on wearing dresses and everything, even outside of church. It's a bit of a mix, but like it's nothing. It's nothing that will be shocking. Basically, it's they women will wear like a feminine type of modest pants, basically, at least in my area. Covering the SSPX describe their female adherents as being women in long, modest skirts who were loading vans that had enough seats to accompany 9 or 8 kids. Okay, when it comes to going to mass, that is 1000% true. I've literally seen like, oh, we have 2 or 3 families at mass today, and it's like between them they've got like 100 people. Like I've seen some large families. I've seen families that with so many children that they have to have like they legitimately have to buy a small bus. I don't mean as a figure of speech. I mean it's literally a small bus to transport their children, and they will transport them 3 miles. The dad, and yes, that is a thing. I've also seen families now. Willful childlessness is not a thing among traditional Catholics. The story about Catholics not using artificial birth control is 100% true, and traditional Catholics big time believe in it. And so, small families are not that common among traditional Catholics, in my experience. And they want that. They want kids. They see it as a blessing. They don't see it as a curse. Um, Men want it. Women want it. Like the women are absolutely. I've not met a woman among the SSPX among the mothers who did not want that. Frankly. Um, and when it comes to church on Sunday, that is exactly what it looks like. Um, and it can be, but maybe not no many vans, but like I've seen families that have had two or three rickety cars on their last legs. I've seen all sorts of things, but it does give you a general idea. Okay, during Catholic Mass, though there is no strict dress code, the SSPX advises Sunday best attire. Women recommended to wear skirts that fall at least below the knee and no tight-fitting clothing. It is customary for women to wear a veil during prayer and worship. Men are encouraged to wear suits and ties. That is pretty well accurate and true. I know in my area I've seen people. I've seen people wear less than that. That's because I live especially among rural people. That's because like ties aren't really a thing at all. It's not that they want to be respected, but that their legitimate Sunday best is their nicest shirt, and their nicest shirt they have something clean. The women tend to be a little more dressy than the men. That being said, shirt and tie is normative pretty well for how we dress. And now as far as the lifestyle among the laity, mm, yeah, a lot of us like our old cultural traditions. Um, we don't like iffy stuff online or TV, anything like that. Uh, there are traditional Catholics who watch TV, though they're very cautious about what they watch. Same thing with YouTube and the internet. And they're quite strict. I'm not gonna lie. I've spoken with traditional Catholic SSPXers who say, "Hey, I got up in the morning, I went to a traditional Latin mass, and in the afternoon, I played Skyrim all day. Great Sunday." Um, so basically, it's like it's they take part in conservative. I'd say conservative hobbies like anything immoral is absolutely anything traditionally considered immoral would absolutely be frowned upon among us. So, uh, how would I rate this description of how we live? Give it a B. I give it a B, if I may. It's pretty much everything here does have some accuracy to it. There are places where it is 100% accurate. Um, but there are also a lot of women who, yeah, they work, well, especially as women working as teachers, stuff like that. There are daughters who are their Catholic faithful tradition. They want jobs and careers and other things, stuff like that, and they do it, and they still keep their faith and everything else, and they have the same discussions, debates, arguments. Yes, just like everyone else. Um, but yeah, I give it a B rating.